Kechi, thanks for coming today, for sharing your story with us here today. And I invite you to, I've gotten to know you in the last couple of days, and I just really felt like it was important enough for us to sit down, that your story, I know your voice speaks to people, but what I really love is hearing your story, that your story is really the story of how hope came to be in your life. And so today, I want you to hear her story a little bit and think about really what God has done in your life and what he's doing in your life. I love what he's doing in your life. So let's start. You're from what's your favorite country?
Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria.
You're from Nigeria.
Yes.
Awesome. You'd like to go back there, wouldn't you?
Yes. Actually, I think I might be going back next year. That would be nice.
Year. Awesome. What's your favorite food out of Nigeria?
Geez, that's hard. I'm going to have to say something called jollof rice.
Okay.
It's just Google it. It's really good. It's called jollof rice.
All right. Now, you grew up in a family of four. Tell about your family.
Yeah, so I grew up in a family of four. Yeah, my mom, my dad, and my little sister, who's 17 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were about 16 years old, is that right?
That's correct.
Something happened that changed your life. In fact, it's December 10th, 2005. You were in a plane on the way home from a Christmas holiday.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I was on my way home 12 years ago for Christmas. I was in high school, and I was with 60 other students from my school on a plane that had other passengers. So there were 109 of us total on the plane. And the flight was uneventful and normal for the most part. And then about 20 minutes to landing, the pilot announced that we were going to be starting our descent into the airport. And that was kind of when the turbulence got really chaotic and crazy, and there was just chaos in the entire cabin. It was confusing and scary. And at that point, I remember just being so shocked at what was going on, and I held onto my friend's hand on the aisle seat opposite mine, or rather across from mine, and I held her hand.
What was her name?
Her name was Take. So she looked really scared, and she was like, "What do we do?" And I remember saying, maybe we should pray. And the next thing I remember is just hearing this loud metal scraping sound in my head, and then I was waking up in the hospital in South Africa 5 weeks later.
Now, in that moment, you lost 60 of your classmates.
Yes.
How many of them were really close friends of yours?
Multiple. There were a lot of people that were from my year that were there, and from my actual class as well. Toke was not one of them, but she was in my year, and she was someone that was really close to me. And then just about 6 or 7 other students from my year that I remember being really close to, and many others that I knew.
So there were 2 survivors. Now, I read the reports on the crash, and they took 7 to the hospital, but only 2 survived. Yes. And you were one of the 2.
Yes.
The other one that survived, was she damaged?
Yeah, I believe she broke her collarbone, but she wasn't burned anywhere noticeable.
So, Kechi, you were burned 65% of your body.
Yeah, 3rd-degree burns.
Wow. And so they took you to the hospital. Where did they take you?
To Mill Park Hospital in South Africa, Johannesburg.
So you're in the hospital, and I know you were in a coma for a long time. Yeah. But talk about what you heard in the coma.
So in the coma, I remember hearing my mother's voice. She apparently used to come every day to the hospital and talk to me, tell me what happened, what was going on, where I was, and that I was going to be okay. And she repeated this like a mantra every day, and she sang to me as well. So when I woke up, I had full consciousness of where I was and what had happened, and I woke up knowing songs that I didn't know before the accident.
So she sang this really cool song to you that's a Nigerian hymn in English.
Yeah.
It wasn't in It was in English.
Yeah, it was in English, yeah.
And this song has stuck in your mind, and I wanted to know what it was, so I think people want to know what it was. Would you just sing a little what was going through your mind in the coma?
Okay. Wonderful and marvelous is Jesus to me, sweeter than the honey in the honeycomb busy.
Wow. When you woke up, talk about the first voice you heard and what happened.
The first voice I heard was the nurse's voice calling my name and asking me to open my eyes. And then I remember hearing my mother's voice, and I got really excited and couldn't move around much, but I remember being told to calm down. Yeah, so after that, that just began a series of treatments and surgeries that were very difficult to go through. South Africa was really the most difficult moment of my life, throughout this entire, journey as a burn survivor.
So you've had over 100 surgeries
Yes.
since that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a defining moment for you that that came when the doctors couldn't do anything more for you, and your surgeries they'd done all that they could for you. And I want you to talk about the defining moment and kind of what happened to you in this moment.
Okay, so this was about maybe 2-3 months into my treatment in South Africa, and I had been given as much pain medication as I could be given at the time, and things that they can give me for the itching, but nothing was working. I hadn't slept for the last 3 days, 3 nights. I was exhausted, tired, in pain, itching. Everything was just wrong, and heavily depressed. So I was crying constantly. My mom tried everything she could to get me out of the pit, but it was just really hard. And I remember just wishing it would just all go away, and just kind of feeling so sorry for myself and just really helpless, And it was at that point that my mom called my grandmother, her mom, to talk to me. And my grandma got on the phone with me, and she said, Kechi, that I need you to do something for me, okay? You need to just get out of your head that God is this big abstract being or form that is just out there, and you're not sure if he's listening or not, or if he cares or he doesn't. That's not who God is. He's your father who actually cares for you. He wants good things for you. He's going to listen to you if you talk. I mean, that's who he is. So think about him like you would think about your dad, and just talk to him the same exact way. And that's kind of how I learned how to pray, basically, just talking to God. So I just, it kind of seemed so random to me for her to tell me to do that when I'm like going through all this. So I was like, let me just give this a shot and see what happens, I guess. I don't know. So I just started talking and purging my soul, talking and praying he was listening. And then next thing, I was waking up the next morning. I mean, I don't even know when I fell asleep. So that was like mind-boggling to me, because my mom, she came to the hospital, she came into the room and she was like, you're like bright, and like my eyes were bright, and she was like, what's going on? I was like, I slept throughout the night. And so that kind of changed everything for me, for us. It kind of gave me a new perspective on what it means to be a Christian, what it means to have a personal relationship with God, and how, there's some things that, that are internal that medication cannot reach. And, it was from there that my faith developed. And it's still growing till today. I fall every day, but I know that whenever I get up, he's there. So there's a difference in how I think about God now, for sure, based off of that experience.
Now you went from Johannesburg to Houston, to the Shriners Hospital. You did a whole bunch of surgeries there, and you've been developing and growing and getting better and all that. But a lot of people don't know this. You, in the midst of all those surgeries and all that stuff, there was something that helped you It was music, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. Music was, has, I mean, it's just been this constant in my life from before I woke up from the coma, all those years ago. It was the thing that, kept me, gave me my grip on this world. And it was my escape for a big part of when I was in South Africa because I couldn't do much. I couldn't get up, I couldn't walk. I was learning how to do all these different things all over again, basic human everyday activities that, you don't really think about. But the one thing I could do was listen to music and I could sing. So these were things that I could do, whether I could move my body or my head or not. So I did it constantly, just all the time. And so when I got here, and Shriners Galveston and Shriners Houston, when they realized just how much I loved it, they made it part of my healing and my therapy and my recovery. So music therapy became a huge part of my healing process, and I just immersed myself in it, and it became my ultimate distraction from surgeries and everything that was going on in my life at the time. So
You sang your way through your pain.
that's a pretty way to put it, for sure. Yeah, I like that. That's what happened.
And if you've been around Kechi at all, you know she sings all the time. Yeah.
All the time. All the time.
In fact, I heard you singing while I was preaching in here. And it's cool. It was cool. It was awesome. Now, you didn't stop there because you got through with I don't know when was your last surgery?
My last surgery was 2014, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the midst of all that, you decided to go back to college.
Yes. I had to finish high school first. So I finished high school here, 2010, and then started college 2011.
Okay, so you went to college.
Yeah.
How'd you do? Did you like a B or a C student? How'd you do?
So I graduated top 10% of my class, which was really cool. And thank you. It was a lot of hard work, but it was worth it, I believe.
Now, I loved when I read your speech to the, because you were what do they say, cum laude? What do they call it?
Summa cum laude, yeah.
There you
so
go.
I gave
I
the
knew there was
commencement
something. I
speech.
never made that deal, so. So you did. When you gave that speech, which was really cool, you gave it in honor of who?
Of the 60 students who passed away from my school, because it was such a tragedy when the accident happened. So many kids had never been lost in that amount at a time in Nigeria. So it's something that we're still recovering from till today. Those families lost, there was the family that lost all 3 of their children on that flight. So this was something that had brought a lot of darkness to Nigeria. And so I felt this responsibility to represent something positive out of something horrible. And I wanted that degree to be something that represented, just the lives of those that were lost, the lives of people who couldn't graduate like I was able to. And I wanted the parents to see that and, realize and know that, I was doing something good with my life, and I wanted them to just be proud, I guess.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
All right, so 2017, this last year, you had a friend that did something crazy. What did they do?
She signed me up for America's Got Talent.
You didn't know about it, right?
No, I did not. She threatened to do it a lot of times. She told me I should do it, but I just wouldn't, because I didn't think I was good enough or competitive, and I didn't want to, I wasn't, I was too nervous to think about, going out there and singing in front of people and stuff. But she just took the reins from me and just did what she had to do. And she just applied online, sent in a video, and put in her email so that, when they contact anyone, it would be her, and then she can forward it to me, which is pretty much what happened throughout the show. And so then I got a phone call one day from a woman named Destiny, and she basically told me, "Oh yeah, I'm from America's Got Talent. We saw your video, and we're interested in, seeing if we can move forward with you as a contestant." And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds fake, but okay." And so I just basically, kind of hung up on her, and then a couple hours later, I called the number back, "I'm sorry, was this for real? Like, what did you say this was? And so she kind of said everything again, and it turned out to be genuine. And so my friend, I call her, and then I'm like, what? Do you realize what just happened? And she's like, oh my God, they called you? They actually called you? So she was shocked too. She just took that chance. She didn't know what was going to happen from there. So, I mean, she basically was a catalyst for everything that happened after that. And, you know, I have her to thank for all the experiences I've had so far, honestly.
And you shared on that show some worship tunes.
Yeah, I try to make it as clear as possible that I was a Christian, and because you're out. This is Hollywood basically, and a lot of times your real personality and who you are might get stifled by what they feel is TV, ready or TV worthy. So I really did my best to, since when I got to the live shows, it's actually live, so you can't cut live stuff. So
You get to share your
I got
faith.
to, when anything happens, I'm just talking about thanking God, and I'm so grateful to God, and just making sure that people know that this is not, it's not just me here. I'm here with the Holy Spirit. I'm here because He gave me the strength and the confidence to be here, and I wouldn't be here without Him. So I just wanted that to be clear to the world.
They're tired of me talking, so we're going to get to hear you sing in a minute here.
Okay.
And yeah, they're clapping. They're tired of me talking. Yeah. So I want you to sing a song from your heart today, and you've chosen one. Get ready to be moved.
Grander earth has quaked before, moved by the sound of His voice, and seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken for my regard. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. Through it all, my eyes are on you. It is well with me. Far be it from me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see, and this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into